coming up in today's episode.
It's not a nice day. And it's just the whole thing, it just feels a little bit unnerving. Right, Monday 8th of April, it's a big lift day, Annex. Slight trepidation, always do. Now, before I start, just got a couple of quick jobs to do. First of all, I need to move this pallet of trench blocks, but I can do that in one go with the big telehandler. So the first thing I'm going to do is this rear section, which has got legs 1, 2 to the left, and 3 also to the left, pointing towards us there with the bottom of the foot. Has got to be perched up on that back area. So the shorter leg, which you can see with the foot facing towards us, is going to be sitting on that concrete plinth, and then I will be attaching that leg to the main frame. I have prepped some drill holes, and I even went as far as, I don't know what you call that, not countersinking, maybe beveling, I don't know, but the point is there's the hole in the middle, and I've made them a bit bigger so that you won't be able to see the screw, so I can just put a small bit of dowel in there to create the impression of it not having metal in there, even though it has. Bit of a cheat, I suppose, I don't know, but it's nice to keep it authentic looking. So I'm about 3 minutes in, and of course it started raining. There seems to be a rule, basically, whenever I've got the big telehandler, it absolutely pisses it down. So the problem is I got the straps kind of tight on the forks and tight on the wood, because I'm just a bit nervous about these straps. So the problem is it was like that all the way. I could never have put it down. I'm also a little bit off centre that way. I think that will be all right. So I've done this now so that basically the straps can sort of go over the fork. It does mean though they've got a single strap on two sides, albeit with that reserve one, but let's see how we get on. Quite relieved that was caught on camera. Wasn't quite sure what it looks like. I'm quite relieved that it's still in one piece. Now, I'm feeling quite confident about the strength of this thing, but we are going to have to sort of deadlift this in a minute, which I've not really done. I've tilted it, so there's always been a bit of weight on the floor, ground. So we're just going to take a little chill pill, maybe have a cuppa, just let it all settle. Take my time.
Yeah, so just doing a bit of bracing here with the wood, I decided rather than use the straps, it's better just to actually get the forks underneath the structure, and that towel that I've put over there is actually just to stop the metal scratching against the wood.
Now, it would hardly be an issue, but I'm about an inch off from this. Now I could try jiggling it around with the telehandler, but there is a better way, of course. If I want to compress those two things together, I've got a riddle for you. I'm metal, I can pull a boat in with a gentleman with nice slacks and maybe a Renault 21. What am I? That's right, it's the Draper winch is about to be used for this. Right, my battery went just before I stopped for lunch, but this is officially, seeing that, So that is now tied into that. Super straight, those lines look really good. There is a gap here, and that's because, well, I don't know if you can see, there is a slight angle going out the way. I've always known that was the case. Doesn't matter.
Back to the map here, a bit of a southerly feel and a nice message from Juan Cruz dos Santos. Do you like the accent? It's the best I can do. Anyway, he's down in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and he says, Saludos desde. I think that means greetings from. Very southerly feel today. Maybe I'm chasing that warm weather, but not the most southerly we've ever had. If we zip across the map, we'll go past South Africa, close, off to Australia, closer yet, but actually we've had one down past Auckland, New Zealand. That is the most southerly contribution we've had on the map so far. Anyway, Juan, thanks for watching.
So my opinion so far is fantastic. Really pleased. It looks really good. Really good. Nice quality. Yeah, it's starting to give me a sense of the room that's coming up. Oh, there goes the wind again. So I'm kind of winging it. What I've got to do now is I've got to get this up here, the one on the ground, parallel to this, but it's got to be exactly the right width across. Now, the thing I don't like about this one is it's not really going to be supported by anything until I put the trusses and the purlin in, because it's not actually properly tied into this wall here. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make a frame out of 2x4 and attach it to this one, but also it's got to be exactly the right width for the trusses as well. So this is my opportunity to get this thing up and going. I didn't want this to be in the middle of this bit here, but it is. Right, that's the purlin arrived. Looks like they're going to slide it off. Got a bit of a bend on it actually, not that matters. It will settle down very neatly. I need to measure that. It might possibly be oversized, which would be helpful, but we'll see what we've got.
Now, keep your eye on this nearest leg. You can't quite see it, but it's unfortunately getting knocked out. It wasn't very well screwed in. So once I got it up, I had to get it in place. And the way to do that was basically dragging it back in with the Avant. It does click into place quite satisfyingly though.
I have just attached that. So this is basically now tied into the brickwork. I mean, only with like one screw. I don't want to start yanking stuff out, but I just don't particularly want that to move when I make this adjustment. Right, we're coming up to 4. All looking good. I'm just going to deal with moving these trusses. This is the sort of thing that can go wrong late in the day. So I'll be taking it easy. This is number 2. It has occurred to me I can lift it, and although it's going to go in the middle, I can't put it up, but I could leave it down the end. I don't think that's going to be too problematic, but let's just see this manoeuvrability with the telehandler, what it looks like. It's like a sign, isn't it? It's like a sign from the building gods. Run out of petrol. Just stop. It's 4:15. It's been a successful day. Well, this is exactly where I hope to be today. I've got this up. I don't think this lens. I bought this one. It seems a bit cheaper. I swear it's hooky. I'm sure of it. It doesn't seem to zoom out in the way it did before. You don't need to know that. But look. I mean, you've already seen this, but I'm going to show you anyway. I mean, there it is. That's the Annex section. God, that, I mean, actually, that is quite something, because I have imagined this for 3.5 years. It's only when you actually see it for the first time, you really see what it looks like. I'm not explaining that very well, but it just how it sits against stuff in the background. I mean, like see that oak tree that's the buds are out. Even just how it frames against that horizontal beam. Look, until you see it, you just don't quite know what the proportions are really gonna look like. Right, it's Tuesday, Big Digger. Let's hope it's a nice day. This is not a nice day. Oh god, it's just so bad. Because I bet it doesn't pick it up, the camera. I'm under the tarp, which is the only dry bit. Right, it's going to be quite sporadic updates because of the weather. Don't worry, the big lift will be covered. So this is actually truss number 1, the one that's going to the far end, the one I'll lift first. It's because it's got the best quality finish on either side, and that will be exposed externally, as is the current plan. And I don't know if you can see, I've got number 2 in there as well, just being kept out of the way. As you can see, the telehandler does fit around this corner, but not exactly massively easily. So really going very, very gingerly indeed. Here it is at the front, that's the same shot, but you know, same position. Just got to watch stuff catching. I mean, look at the forks, look how close everything is. I'm still confident I can do this. I am in two minds whether to bail out today. I mean, actually, the wind has gone down, the rain's gone down a bit. It just doesn't feel so safe when it's like this. Your visibility is not good, you can't have the window open, because of the steam in the cabin. And it's just the whole thing, it just feels a little bit unnerving. Anyway, we'll have a think. Right, I'm calling it off. Hello, I'm in the cab. That's what I can see. It's not the best visibility in this thing, in good conditions. It is just absolutely torrential, and I'm going to stop. The winds are going to get even harder. The minute they're like 30 miles an hour, and they're going to go up to 58. That's kind of, well, if you're into the Beaufort scale, very windy, something like that. Anyway, I just don't actually feel safe doing it today, and I just think I'm going to end up taking someone out. And also, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I want to do a few more drill holes in the wood, and I don't really want electricity down here either with the other thing. So I just think quit while I'm ahead. I'm not really ahead, by the way, but quit. How's that? Right, here we are. It's now like 3 days later. It was Tuesday I had to give up. It's now Friday at 1 p.m. I've been away for a couple of days. So again, I've had this telehandler sitting there, not doing a lot, costing quite a bit. So what we're going to do, just to explain, see this one here that's on the forks. So I need to lift, let's try again. I need to lift this truss up above to plonk it on top of there, okay? The only thing is, it looks a right old jigsaw puzzle, doesn't it? Well, a lot of that wood is just there to hold stuff up. But obviously the truss is wider than the width of this thing, so that's why it's at an angle. So what I'm going to try and do is pick it up on the forks and keep it at that angle. I might put something, just a bit of wood or something, just to keep it in. And once it's up at the angle, once it's up above the sides, assuming I can do that, then I can kind of flip it round on the forks and straighten it up and do a test drop onto the side bit and see what that looks like. I think I'm going to get the drone up for this one.
I mean, come on, that was like a bit of telehandler juggling stunt maneuver. And if that isn't worth a like, or maybe subscribe, or even click the bell to the channel, I don't know what is. Please do, because it really helps the channel. And while you're there, if you want to leave me a comment, I always try and reply, and let me know where you're from. You might get on the map.
Okay, just before I go cutting any tenons, what I've done is I've just widened the space. I've just pushed the beam out a tiny bit, reset it, so that I can freely drop this beam. Now notice I've now dropped it so that, can you see that the tenons are now loosely in the holes underneath? So I'm just going to try dropping it down like this. Very good line there, right in the middle of that. Oh, look at that. There it is. First ever glimpse of the end section. That's the section I'm going to see more than anything, because it's facing towards my house. And there it is. That is alright. I do like that. Look, little bees come to inspect. Oh, he's gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the side beams in so that they are compressed against the truss, and I'm actually going to screw it in from the side. Of course I haven't made any drill holes for that, only because I didn't preempt it, not because I was being lazy. That's fine. So I'm going to get some in so then it's really sitting tight. Once I've got that all nice and sort of compressed, then I can get these the rest of the tenons on the struts all dowelled in, which is ultimately where it's gonna, it's gonna get its strength from, as it were. Right, so I'm at the top here, just inspecting, everything lining up nicely. So this is where I'm going to drill in. And look at this, I've seemed to have started some sort of a fly cafe. They all seem to be chilling out there. I'm not sure what they're doing. Welcome. And a beetle. Probably some sort of wood-eating pest. There's another one down there as well. Anyway, that's tomorrow's problem. Right, just doing a bit of a after work. The sun has come out. However, flip the camera around. Oh God, I can hear it already. I've only been out like 5 minutes.
Well, you wouldn't think it from the weather, but that footage was May 2024. This is today, January 2025, this morning, out on my walk on minus 6.5 degrees centigrade. Absolutely freezing. And this is proven by the thermometer on my car. Just ignore the array of warning lights. But the reason why I'm saying this is, of course, I start to think about all those lucky people down south, starting with Andrew Callaghan, who's on Curl Beach. Up in northern Sydney. I think I got it right on the map there. Oh God, that sounds good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Send a bit of that spring weather back this way soon, please.
So that's going through there. Shows you how tight it is. Got about 3 inches clearance. And as I go backwards, about 1 inch clearance. So not a lot to play with, but that's fine. So far, so good. Right, I mean, it's just always a relief when you just get stuff up without basically breaking anything else. So the actual problem, well, I mean, it's not quite right, but it's fine. But it's actually that this leg is at a bit of an angle. I really need to give that a bit of a nudge with the Avant. Not something I'm particularly desperate to do at the minute, but I think it's important, so I will. Right, so I've actually got two problems down here. So the struts don't fit. I'm going to have to recut those. Fine. But do it quickly. Hour and a half. The other one is that this right hand leg is still at an angle. I've squeezed it inwards, like pinching it in towards the middle as much as I can, but it's just misaligned at the bottom and I can't move at the Avant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the winch and I'm going to compress it against this leg, but to stop this leg pulling in, I'm going to brace this leg against the stonework. And that should get it, because it's important, because I don't know if you can see, I'm going to zoom in, you can actually see some of the metal work poking through. I'm not sure if there's, well, anyway, trust me, you can. Oh, and also, look, it's just at an angle, I can't leave it like that. So I'm going to do the compression now. Right, I've got all the trusses more or less secure up there. I think I've got to do now, for one, I hope one final time, is manoeuvre the telehandler out there. I hope I haven't snookered myself in. It's possible, actually, honestly. Right, we're on to purlins now. So I've got that bit of 2x4 holding truss number 1 and 2 in place. Number 3, it's slightly dodgy, it's sort of freestanding at the minute, but it's all screwed in. I'm pretty confident it'll be okay. It's only a temporary fix. Bloody annoying if it fell over though. Okay, nice problem to have. Need to go and put some sun cream on. Right, okay, that was pretty good. Tricky, a camera cut out towards the end, so I don't know how much of that you caught. I think you definitely must have got the gist. But I've now screwed that in, got those lined up, so all 4 screws are in. And that gives me a sense of sort of general well-being. As opposed to it could fall down at any minute, still could. You got a sense that it really is well supported, which is good. Okay, I've removed that top bit of 2x4. I don't need it because I've got the purlin, but also it will be in the way when I try and do the other purlin on the other side. We've had some inelegant material handling on Alex builds, but gouging that purlin into the soil. It's a new low. So as I lower it now, just needs to slide onto that little noggin thing, or whatever it's called. Right, here I am, look. You can see this. I'm a new place, I'm sitting on the purlin. It's all good. Got these 2 purlins in this one and that one, all fixed in, really solid. And here we go, this is the final straight. Now, the bit that's going to go at the top is actually going to be in 2 sections because the wood yard couldn't do one long enough. I mean, it's bloody close, I look at it, because if I look at that one down there, if I got another one of those, it only needs to be another 40 centimetres, but anyway, they can't do it. So it's 2 pieces and I failed to do a scarf joint. So, what needs to happen is is I need to do a piece that meets that purlin. Right, this is a weird one. So basically I've got to take a 41-degree wedge underneath, but it's got to be on its diagonal. Right, it's the next day after work. It's distinctly not as nice, pretty wet. So I've just got to sort this purlin out. It was too long, and this sort of 45-degree rough cut here doesn't work. So I'm basically going to chainsaw this down at the right angle. I think I'll probably have more success. More often.
Right, quite a deft bit of telehandler work here as I push it slightly off to the right.
Right, there you go, you can see where I am now. I'm up here, just doing a bit of screwing here. This should be a bit better centred, but remember I ended up shoving it forward, I think. So basically that's it. So these big things going in here, these are called clamping screws, and I've got the impact driver. Four of those ain't messing around, I'll tell you that. There we go, nice and secure. Right, there we go, I've finished now. British weather gods have been good to me because it really is raining hard. It was raining earlier, but now it is quite unpleasant. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is at the weekend I'm going to have a good old tidy up. Get all that 2x4 off. I might even take the tarp off because I want to see it as is. And that'll be really cool. I'm not sure if blasting the oak with the Karcher K5 qualifies as a truly vintage or authentic technique, but works for me. There we go, looking very tidy, very nice, very clean. Looking nice. Let's do a walkthrough. Not looked this clean for a while. I would still say very wonky woodwork at the back. Let's come out a little bit. Nice and straight in this one. Lovely big space.
Well, there we go. Another episode done. Very pleased with that. Turned out really, really good. Now, this was filmed last May, so there's loads of progress and, of course, episodes coming up. Now, in the meantime, if you haven't already seen it, I did do another project over the summer and I actually finished it. So there's 3 episodes of my outdoor kitchen, also known as the Mega Q, with the usual array of cock-ups, including, but not limited to this.
What an idiot.
Or if you're new to the channel and you got this far, of course, there's about 32 episodes before this, so you can go right back to the beginning and catch up on the barn. But in any case, thanks for watching, and if you could give the video a like or subscribe, and if you leave me a comment, remember to tell me where you're from, you might get on the map. Thanks for watching and see you next time.